Regular council meeting, October the 3rd, 2012, will now be called to order, and I'll ask the city clerk to please do the roll call.
Mr. Michael?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Palumbo?
Here.
Mr. Gearing?
Here.
And Mayor Pike?
Here. If we pledge allegiance to the flag now, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any comments at this time on any of the agenda items? Or should I say any of the items on the agenda? Yes, sir.
I have a question. It's not really directed towards the hiring of the parking enforcement, just more so of the parking and the meters that are now placed behind DeMarco's and in that parking lot. Is that something we can talk about now, or do you want to wait till you get to that on the agenda? Is it free speech? Okay. I just have a concern. I have customers coming in to the restaurant saying that we should pay the tickets because they're getting tickets at lunchtime, and because they came to the restaurant, we should pay the tickets. And I mean, it's going to be a battle for a little bit, but a few concerns that I have are the meters aren't consistent. Some say 15 minutes for a quarter, some say 30. I got a ticket the other day on a broken meter, and I put a quarter in today again just to verify before I came to talk about it that it is broken already. It's a new digital one. The ones along the side of the building aren't even concrete into the ground, so it's only a matter of time before somebody steals them again like they did last time. It's just, I think it needs a better system because it's just causing problems right now. And I'm just here to hopefully work with the city and come up with a solution. My main concern is lunchtime. After that, everything's free anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know, one other thing is 2 of my employees. I have usually 2 employees that have a vehicle. They're getting tickets. They're paying them for now just because they're trying to get along. I told them to wait until I come to the meeting. I'd like to discuss, maybe getting a few spots, myself, my partner down there, 2 employees during lunch. I don't know if you could come up with a different system where there's a 2-hour free parking and chalk the tires, and after that, ticket them. I understand they want to have some type of enforcement and use the city lot to make the money. I get that, but I feel it was jumped into prematurely and just kind of needs a little tweaking, maybe, if possible.
Well, I think that particular spot down there, we have new meters that we're about to install down there.
They have been installed. They are brand
Are
new.
they all up?
And there always were meters there before until the vandalism took place.
As long as we've been there for almost 4 years now, they have never worked.
Well, they should work now. And
Oh, I
that's
see.
one of the reasons why we're asking for a supervisor for
Right.
the parking enforcement, is to keep track of the meters and report them when they're full, when they're broken, when they're not working.
Right.
And I know a lot of the people that work downtown buy the monthly spots in the parking garages for $40 a month. We have a lot of people that work downtown that buy those monthly spots.
Is there any type of option like that for behind the building, for among the spots, so my employees can park there instead of the garage? I mean,
I don't know if they do it at leases of any kind behind with regular parking meters. And I'm not sure that all those parking meters have been installed. I know that they're working on them down behind your place.
Are they the old ones or the new ones? You know?
there's a mix. Some of the old ones
Could we
look like they're
consider,
working, and they're all locked up now. And
could we
they're all
consider
back on the
that as an
bar.
option, taking some of the meters and?
Like I said, some of them say 15 minutes for a quarter, some say 30 for a quarter. They're not consistent.
So we need to do a price
They should
change?
get
Or?
on our town.
We're trying to implement a new system as we speak to try to kind of get a handle on this parking because it's getting out of hand.
No, I mean, I used to be park everywhere, and what's your lot, so you should make money off of it. I totally get that. But I need to know something. I thought about making a sign for the back of our building to post, city parking, so people know that they will be ticketed or these are meters that are active. probably still think they're broken, even though they're up. It's just a perception, it's not anything else. Like I said, I like to work with you. I like to do something to come to an agreement. Just even if it was 2 hours free parking, then ticketing after, and have someone monitor that. Chalk the tire, monitor it.
What would be your hours that you do that?
I mean, you could do. If you're aiming at me, I'd say it was between 11:30 and 1:30, 2 hours. But if it were just 2 hours, you can have him sit up there from those hours and make sure those people are there in and out, or it's just 2 hours and he makes 2 laps around. If the same car's sitting there 3 hours later, they get the ticket.
Yeah, but it's financially feasible.
Because you guys have a nice little lunch drive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. Lunch is hard enough as it is anymore. I think there's so many places to go, so many options. Now, when people have to drive and pay to park, it's also I don't know how many people carry quarters around in their pocket anymore. I would venture to say many don't.
Yeah, Mayor's is only good for traffic.
I know in Greene County down in Waynesburg, along the streets, it's 2 hours free parking, and the meter made to walk up and down. They chalk the tires. There's a large lot down by the PNC Bank. For 8 hours, it's $1. I know that because I park there every day all summer because I work down there. You can go down and look. But I mean, I'm just saying that's how they do it, and they're much smaller than we are. I don't know if that matters.
Jason, do you want to address this now, or do you want to wait?
Well, it's a little difficult because, as the mayor said, we are working on creating a system, and I've had an opportunity to speak with you for a few minutes. But a lot of the questions that you're posing are not in the purview of enforcement, which is where my responsibility lies. But it seems that you're almost asking for, not going to say exemptions, but agreements. Well, I'm not in the position to make any agreement. An agreement would have to be done through council if they decide they're going to leave it a metered lot, or take away the meters from the lot and make it a 2 hour parking, or whatever the case may be. The only thing I can say from my end is, as I progress forward with working on parameters and policies regarding what we want to accomplish in the city of Uniontown, I plan to meet with business owners and conduct public meetings to get input as to what the needs of the business owners are, and also what the needs of the city are, and hopefully we can come to some type of an agreement. In the short term, if they're getting tickets, I don't have a solution for that, because we're looking at more of a January 1st type change in policy versus the next month or two.
I mean, it's great. It definitely sounds like there's a plan, but it sounds like they shot first and asked questions later. I mean, it just
it wasn't so much that anyone shot first and asked questions later. It's the fact that 4 years ago, basically, we had a change in administration. The system of parking has been in place for many, many years. There are, for example, my responsibility is the police department, which keeps me relatively busy, very busy. So we're at a point now where we are seeing some of the issues that are coming into City Hall regarding parking. So what that's caused us to do is examine parking, and under examination, we're seeing that parking has some loopholes, some issues that need dealt with. So because we're recognizing these issues, we're going to try to address them by revamping parking. But make no mistake about it, the parking that's currently in the city of Uniontown, I've been a policeman since 2001, and our ticket hasn't changed. It's been the same ticket, and I assume that ticket was the same parking ticket that was utilized prior to me being employed here. So the parking system that is in place isn't something new. It's just, I believe that that we're having, believe it or not, increased businesses in town, increased number of people utilizing town, and because of that, it's creating an inherent problem with parking, because they're not making space anymore. And but we'll address a lot of the concerns when it comes to the enforcement of parking, but when it comes to exemption agreements, that's going to be outside of my purview.
Sir, I think you bring up a good point about potentially leasing parking spaces. I think it's something we have to discuss, but as the chief said, we are trying to revamp. My major concern is revenue, of course. But I think that that's something we could discuss, and I'd like to maybe Jeff, through the Downtown Business Authority, maybe we could kind of put that on the table. If it's feasible, I'm okay with it. I mean, again, we'd have to discuss it and see where that goes. But if downtown businesses want to rent spaces that aren't in the garage, I think that's something we can look at.
Yeah, we just had a meeting today of we invited downtown business owners. We had a pretty good turnout. We had about 20 people because we have a marketing grant that we want to get input from the business owners, how we want to spend this. But certainly, and one of the things that came up, even though we were talking about marketing, was parking. People, it's always concerned with business people about parking anywhere you go, not just in Uniontown, any town you go to. So certainly, if you wanted to, if somebody from council wanted to come to that meeting or whatever, or Jason, and talk about the parking situation, I'm sure they'll be interested in meeting with you.
So what are you going to do? Put up signs? What somebody else parks there?
You mean about lease space?
Yeah, I mean,
if you start leasing parking spots out, it's going to create a bigger enforcement. And who's going to enforce it? You have the men to enforce it, Chief?
Well, I mean, we'll participate in enforcement as much as I'm directed to participate. I'm not really in a position where I get to make that call. But I do agree. I think that, and JW and I had a meeting with the local magistrate recently, and the solicitor brought up a point that the more complex you make things, the more difficult, the more working parts you create, the more difficult it is to enforce, the more man hours it takes to enforce. So that is a valid point.
Two, whenever you take a place with all the meters down there where you're at, are you talking like leasing every one of them?
No, I'm talking about at least 4 for my employees and, whoever using them at the time, some of us.
So that would,
You're going to get that request
again, that would
from
have to
people
be,
all over the city to turn this spot and that spot
Well,
and
what's
this
going to
spot
stop me from
into
parking
somebody
there? You lease
I
the
want-
property.
I want-
You lease it.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up there and park there. Now, who's going to enforce it?
That would be a problem. I see that now.
That's another issue.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm bringing this to the table so we can discuss this. And
Right.
it's going to cause different problems. Any new implementation
Yeah.
will cause a problem out of the gate. It already is.
Well, one thing you could do on a lease, post it, lease space, violators, will be towed. If you don't have a lease pass or employee pass, for example, if you issued them, somebody's in your spot, who you haven't authorized to be there, call Joby's, they'll have to pay for the tow.
Whether it's a metered lot or a 2-hour lot, and you make the
of course, you might lose
determination,
them as a customer.
That's
either,
true.
either way, it's
That's
going to
true.
be one or
thing
the
about
other.
business.
Well, Chief, I think you're in the process of reorganizing something according to what I see here, hiring somebody to go over the parking enforcement supervisor. And I think that ought to all be discussed with them and bring it back to council.
I can stay in touch with you and attempt to move forward.
Get your number tonight.
Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm sure we can work out something.
Yeah.
We'll be glad to do anything that works.
I'd accept anything that works. Thank you very much.
Anybody else on any agenda items at all? Yes, sir.
In my case, I own the Trinity Tattoo Studios and I live above my business. That's my apartment. And I'm having the same problem finding my parking space. If it comes down to it, I would definitely love to reserve my space. Because
Again, those are things that we would try to get together and work out. Try to make it better for all of us.
right across the street from the Marcos, the one that got hit by an ambulance yesterday, that's my place.
But isn't that also right next to the parking garage?
Yeah, but they told me I have a BMW. They told me that they vandalized everything in there. The kids running skateboards and bicycles.
address that. Chief, the parking garage, he's heard that there's vandalism and fun stake in the
Kids
parking
and
garage.
skateboarders and bikes.
Yeah, I mean, as with any parking garage in any city, you're going to have minor issues. I have talked to various business owners within the city who are considering renting parking spaces, and many of them do, both parking garages. And when I've had those conversations, I can pull up incidents that we've dealt with inside the parking garage back to 1998. And that's not to say that we don't have incidents. We've had instances where, kids will go through checking car doors, and if a car door is unlocked, they'll take change. Or we've had report of skateboarders skating up on the top floor, from time to time. Various different nuisance issues, but we've never responded to an assault of anyone in the parking garage. We've never responded to a shooting in one of our parking garages. So I think that in my view, the parking garage would be no different from a risk standpoint than parking anywhere on the street within the city of Uniontown, because we deal with those same types of incidents on the street.
Anybody else?
I'm sorry, one more thing. How long until the next type of meeting like this where we decide or an idea is born?
Well, I think the chief, you set that meeting up with the magistrate and who else?
Well, I had a meeting with the magistrate and the solicitor earlier in the week.
Well, then maybe you could let them know when you could get together and talk to them on this.
That's fine.
When is your next meeting, Jeff? That you had suggested?
The business group.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks from today, so it'll be the 17th. It's 8 a.m. actually. We're trying to do this wake up before businesses, store owners go to their stores. We're having this 8 a.m. meeting. It's only an hour long. So
Jeff, why don't you shoot me an email and I'll be at that meeting. And
Would it be better to incorporate that or have it separate?
Yeah,
it'd be fine. I can speak to many business owners at once.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
Brings more people together.
Yep. And that way, it'll give them an opportunity to get their ideas together, and I'll communicate openly with them, and we'll work together.
But we're hoping to roll the whole thing out sometime in January and February, or first of the year. So we're going to be.
That's perfectly fine, but that's 3 months of a lot of problems and headaches that we're going to incur. So
I really don't see the problems if somebody puts money in the meters until then. I mean, the meters, like I said, used to always be there until they are vandalized. So, I mean, and from now until then, until something is decided, as long as they pay.
what about the different times on the meters? They all, some say 15 minutes, some say 30.
Well, that has to be addressed. I mean, if that's an issue, and that's like I said, a supervisor for the parking enforcement that will be part of his job to check the meters every day to see if there's a problem with the meters.
Are those different type meters or different type times? Are they the same meter at the same time?
There aren't two meters. I think there's some that have two different meters on the pole.
The one look new, the other one's old.
Are the older meters starting?
They make there's something in the timer,
Yeah.
Is the older meters 30 minutes and the new meters 15? Is that the problem?
Seems to be.
That's the problem?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get that looked at.
The older meters are working. They are taking money and going up 15 minutes.
Well, I would definitely, just for the time being, just tell people, hey, just make a sign or something, say, this is being enforced until we can come up with a plan. Just tell the customers, hey, look, this is being enforced. Just make sure you pay whether 15 or 30 till we can rectify the problem, because this has been ongoing for a while. We're just trying to overcome it. Just tell them,
And also, not that it's your responsibility, but when you encounter a meter that's not working properly like you did today, if you write the number down and call City Hall or call me, we'll get it addressed.
There's numbers on the meters?
Yeah, there should be.
Yeah.
Every meter's numbered.
I didn't see any numbers. I looked for something to write down.
I mean, if I have to, I'll zip down there
Yeah.
and I'll see which one it is and make sure I relay back to.
Well, we'll look into the 15, 30 minute though, the discrepancy this week.
That's got to be in quick.
All right.
Thanks for
Nothing else. We'll go with the resolutions.
Well, give me just a second, Mayor, just because we're talking about that neighborhood, and there's also been the Verizon work going on down there. Talking to Verizon today, I've had several people ask me how long it was going to go on and take place, and the issue with the temporary deck plates, and they're hoping to get the deck plates up to alleviate that congestion by the end of next week. So again, it's not this week, but they're moving, and it shouldn't be longer than the end of next week.
Very good.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to accept the report of the treasurer for the month of September 2012, being and the same is hereby accepted and filed.
No
Mike.
comment. No comment.
Mr. Jones.
No comment.
Mr. Palumbo.
No comment.
Mr. Geary.
No comment.
Mr. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Palumbo?
Yes.
Mr. Geary?
Yes.
Mayor Pike?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, the council hereby accepts the minutes of the September 5th, 2012 regular council meeting.
No comment.
Mr. Jones.
No comment.
Palumbo.
No comment.
Mr. Geary.
No comment.
Mr. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Palumbo?
Yes.
Mr. Geary?
Yes.
Mayor Pike?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, council hereby directs the Director of Accounts and Finance to make payment of the following invoices for services rendered or products procured for the City of Uniontown for September 2012 invoices. In the general fund, $109,116.94. That includes a $10,918.57 transfer to off-street. In the sewer fund, $142,298.80, including a $3,093.20 transfer to recycling. Off-street, $18,413.95. Recycling, $1,614.34. Community development, $125.25. Highway, $19,296.73. Recreation, $14,161.43. And library, $37.96.
Mr. Michael.
No comment.
Mr. Jones.
No comment.
Mr. Palumbo.
No comment.
Mr. Geary.
No comment.
Mr. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Palumbo?
Yes.
Mr. Geary?
Yes.
Mayor Pike?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize a refund to Uniontown Area School District for a prepaid parking pass in the amount of $400 for an employee who was transferred.
Mr. Michael.
No comment.
Jones.
No comment.
Palumbo.
No comment.
Geary.
No comment.
Mr. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Palumbo?
Yes.
Mr. Geary?
Yes.
Mayor Pike?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown that upon recommendation of the Uniontown Planning Commission, the council approved transfer of tax parcel 38-06-0367 to Lot 4 and Lot 5 to combine the two parcels of land into one parcel from Baypen Economic Development Council to the City of Uniontown for the purpose of extending the rotary wall.
Mr. Michael.
No comment.
Mr. Jones.
No comment.
Palumbo.
No comment.
Mr. Geary.
Just because I'm looking at it, Lot 4 is a long, skinny lot, and then Lot 5 is just the square here in the corner of 1.5 acres. Yeah.
This is transfer. To the city.
Lot number 5 is the skinny lot. It's long, a long creek. Lot number 4 is the square. Yeah, lot number 5 wraps around the alley there, that's why it's kind of hard.
Ah, there you go. Because that's what I was looking at down here.
Yeah, it is.
And I was-
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Does that matter?
Let's vote.
Right?
So does lot 5 then include the brick and block building?
Yeah, that's the VFW building, yeah.
We voting, Mayor?
Yes.
What's lot 5 have to do with the Rotary Walk?
It's, the way I understand it, is that they need that just for kind of logistics as far as, for the bank, the creek bank that exists there.
That's on the opposite side of the creek. The VFW building and the creek and lot 5, according to what you have marked here. That's where the VFW building is.
Yeah.
And the alley comes up around
Yeah,
there.
the reason for that, yeah, it has something to do with the construction, actual construction of the walk, of the Rotary Walk, with the creek bank and so on, you know, it's maybe just,
It's
I
actually,
didn't develop plans, so I'm not that.
it's actually illustrated in the letter behind the resolution.
Yeah, if you read the letter.
Coach, Charmaine Sampson clarified it in the letter.
alley behind the VFW? I never knew that.
That's on the drawing anyway.
Whatever.
It
I mean,
says
it's
it's
about
gonna
them
be,
giving us this piece of ground,
it
right?
says the land will be used as a parking lot only and will be maintained by FAPEN. There will be no construction on the property. FAPEN will also convey the new lot to the city of Uniontown for $1. Following discussion upon motion duly made and seconded and unanimously carried, it was approved to transfer the 2 lots, the 2 parcels in lot 4, located on Mount Vernon Avenue, as an addition to lot 5. So I think it's kind of, they're just going to use it for parking.
I'm confused because if this is a VFW lot, do we own the VFW lot?
No.
The city?
No.
And if we don't own it, how can we be conveying?
We're not conveying, they're conveying.
They're giving it to us.
Fayette-Penn
They're
Block.
giving it to
They're
us,
giving it to us to use on the Rotary Walk and parking.
right?
And they're gonna lease it to us for $1. It says that way.
Yeah.
For the new lot, well, they're gonna give it to us. FAPEN will convey the new lot to the city of Uniontown for $1. There's a couple of, they want to put parking by the VFW in that lot 5, so they can walk on the Rotary Walk.
It'll be maintained.
Now,
So the
now it makes sense in what you're saying.
Sure.
They want to give it to us, so it's part of the
So the
Rotary.
VFW parking lot is what they're.
A couple of spaces. You understand, Blair?
Yeah,
It's just
I
for-
understand it
it's for
now, what
parking.
you're saying.
And FAPEN owns it, they're gonna give it to us for $1.
So
They're gonna
yeah.
give you that parking lot.
Just
Just
a little
couple
piece of it.
spaces.
Just a couple of
Chunk of it.
spaces.
Well, it's showing lot 5 is 1.53 acres. That's a lot more than just a couple spaces.
Sure is.
You gentlemen understand that we have an alley that runs up alongside that creek, on this side of the creek next to the VFW building, and it's named after Joe Vasitas. The city owns an alley there. It runs clear up alongside that creek. It isn't showed on this map for some unknown reason.
The upper side of the building.
Unless that's this. No. That alley runs clear back here, clear up around here, and right up to Main Street.
It's on the other side of the building. It's right under that.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Where at?
I don't know.
That's probably it right there.
No.
He says no.
The city alley runs from here clear up to Main Street. It runs from
Above the
that-
building.
Above the building, right next to the
On
creek.
the Walgreens side of the building.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that alley has a name. It was named after Joe Vasitas.
Right.
It's not the VFW side, it's
It
the other
ain't
side.
on
The other side.
No, it's on the VFW
It's
side.
on the VFWs.
It's on the VFW,
But
right next to
The other
creek.
side of the building.
Yeah.
There's a right of way on the other side of the building.
That's
Between
right.
there and North Mount Vernon.
No, now you're talking about the opposite side, Mayor. This side of the creek that we're on right now, where this building stands, there's an alley, the VFW building's here, and there's an alley runs right up alongside that creek. And it's owned by the city. Now, I can understand what he said when he said that if AFN wants to let them use the VFW parking lot.
Not the whole thing. Just
Well,
a parcel.
it has lot 5 on this map.
It says parcel. It says the rationale of the plan is to add property from tax parcel 38060367 to lot 4 and lot 5, but there's no, it's only a part of it. And so they're only gonna give you, I think on that map it says parking lot. See the parking lot side? I think they're gonna give you this, right here.
That isn't on this side of the creek. Here's the VFW building. Here's lot 5. That's a VFW, it's a VFW building.
That's not the parking lot.
Well, according to that's what he's
No,
saying.
they're talking about 0367. This is
What the hell am I reading
36.
back
Look,
here?
Where's 7? I'm seeing 8 and 9.
He said lot 5 was
Where's
the
7?
It is.
well, I don't. Do you guys know where 7 is? I don't see 7 either.
There's 8 and 9. Where's 7?
Well, I'm thinking that's it. What's that?
That's on the other side of the creek.
That's the parking lot for the park.
This is over next to where General Marshall's sitting and that. There's a parking lot that belongs to the city. But if this is talking about anything on this side of the creek, we own an alley
Right.
clear down through there. Now, what they're saying, lot 5,
I don't see
I
that.
don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't see
I'm
that
not an
part.
engineer.
Well, we'll pass on it
Cool.
then. Because there's 9,
Here's lot 4
there's 6, 8.
and 5.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't see what the Rotary Walk would have anything to do with this side of the creek.
380667.
Aren't you on that committee, yes, sir?
No, K2 Engineering. I'm not representing, I'm not with Faith.
Well, whose map is this?
This is the
Do you,
It's Millen.
That's why I can't figure it
Oh, there it is, right there.
out.
Are you seeing
Right
7?
here.
It's way over here.
Tax parcel ID number, but that says lot 1.
this here is already ours, Mayor.
The parking lot.
Yeah, see, General Marshall, and that sits in the, Mount Vernon
The
Avenue
parcel
up
number's over
here.
here.
And this parking lot's right alongside it, that's us. That's all
Oh,
right.
they're talking about way over here.
Now, this is
Over
great,
by the
this is,
fireworks
I don't want to have to talk.
behind the Salvation Army.
I make a motion to table this resolution.
Till someone gets with the engineer, somebody knows what they're talking about.
Bay Penn, a representative from Bay Penn was supposed to be here tonight, but he was not available, so.
So we're talking about potentially 2 acres of ground.
Are we afraid you're gonna give us too much?
No, but I'll guarantee you they aren't gonna give you that.
Is there supposed to be?
I'll guarantee you this is an error if, the way we're looking at it.
Is there supposed to be a subdivision?
Yes, this is a subdivision. Yes.
So is this the proposed subdivision on the schematic? On the road, yes, sir.
Here's the letter that came with.
Yeah, the letter.
You know, we're all in favor of doing good stuff for the Rotary Walk and trying to bring it over and bring it across. At least I believe we're all in favor of that.
It's Maple.
Sure we are.
Two parcels on one.
Yeah, this is just parking. This is for parking.
No, this is actually the ownership of the parcel. To transfer the deed to the.
To the city.
They own.
For parking.
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
See, and that's the reason why, so when they were saying lot 5, I'm seeing that. And that's why I'm
Well, I have a
confused.
motion to table it on the.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Michael.
I think I understand what they're talking about here, but we can table it and confer with them, that's fine.
Right,
You all right with that, Mayor?
yes.
I just want to move forward.
I think I understand it too.
The
We should have an
motion,
engineer or something that shows. Well, you know, engineer Mr. McMillan's being paid for this. We let him continue on what he's doing. I think he ought to be here to explain this to somebody. Why pay someone that we have no knowledge of what they're talking about?
Mr. Jones?
McMillan Engineering is doing this for Fay Penn, not for the city. They were paid by Fay Penn.
I am saying McMillan still is working on projects for the city, and this was probably part of it.
No, it was not. This was done within the last 3 months when I'm on the committee for the Rotary Walk. And McMillan Engineering is actually donating their services to Fay Penn to complete this project to get this portion subdivided so that the city could have the property. That's what the whole purpose of it was.
Well, do you understand what this is?
I haven't seen these plans, but
Well, come on up and we'll show you.
your planning commission has already approved it.
Right.
And they're recommending that you approve it, and
Yeah.
the city engineer, which is Mr. Over, has already looked at it. He is not here, so he sent his man here to say that you guys approved it, correct?
Yeah.
Problem is, there's no.
I agree, and all we're gonna do is
Now that
hold
I'm
it
looking
back.
at this,
If we don't go ahead and
because
vote.
they're talking
That's
about
what I'm saying,
these two
man.
parts here, is it these two parts that are combined now to fit this shaded area?
Shaded area gets incorporated into the old railroad right away. The shaded area behind the VFW gets incorporated into the railroad right away, which is the Rotary Walk.
Okay, so that's what it is that they're trying to convey then? Those two shaded areas?
Yeah.
ID numbers for lot 1 on this diagram.
Yeah.
That's all that stuff.
Yeah, I think the recommendations on Charmaine was.
That was the planning commission. They've already passed
I think
it.
what they want to do is combine this, I think what the goal of this is to combine this into this on the one meets and bounds description on the same deed and then convey it to us. But the way she has it written in her proposal is to put this one in there. Yeah, I think that's what
When you're showing these two up here, and you got 1.6 acres and 2.4 acres.
These are the two that
up
are
here.
targeted right here, but
Yeah.
then but the tax ID number that she has in her proposal is for this one, which is lot 1, which is a different lot. That's
Right.
why it doesn't make any sense.
So they're looking, to do this and to do this over here,
Yeah.
to make things happen.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
almost certain that's what the problem is.
Person plans to add property from tax parcel 3672 lots 4 and 5 as shown.
It's already.
Any parcels are being-
So we need to vote.
Okay, we
So
need to take a
don't hold
vote,
it up.
we need to take a vote, we need to take a vote on tabling this. We didn't take a vote on that, so are we going to scratch the table?
I wouldn't table that, just pass.
Vote on the table.
Okay, this is to take a vote on tabling, resolution number 147. Mr. Michael?
No.
Mr. Jones?
No.
Mr. Palumbo?
No.
Mr. Gearing?
Can we have question on the motion?
I'm
Because
sorry.
my question on the motion, because my question would be if we don't table it, or what we're gonna try and work on right here is rewording, what we're voting on?
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna vote
So we
on
should
it-
have language, if we're gonna vote
if we're gonna
to
vote on
accept
it, yeah,
it, if
we
we're
should-
gonna vote to accept it, we need to have proper language.
Yeah, we're not there yet, though. We're still dealing with the table.
Thing is, if
Well,
everybody,
that's
if
the reason why I asked.
everybody approved it and stuff like that, and now we know, they approved it, and Mark's here to clarify some stuff. I mean, why hold it up?
What is it? Yes or no?
Gary, what is your vote on tabling this?
Well, if we're gonna have create verbiage to vote on the thing, then we don't have to table it. So,
Okay, so the vote's no, no. No to table,
no to table.
yeah. And Mayor Pike?
No on the table.
All right. JWRU operations plan for the prevention and minimization of injury and damage caused by a major emergency or disaster within this city. And whereas, in response to the mandate stated above, this city has prepared an emergency operations plan to provide prompt and effective emergency response procedures to be followed in the event of a major emergency or disaster. And whereas the city has also prepared an emergency operations plan in order to reduce the potential effects of a major emergency or disaster and to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of this city. Now therefore, we, the undersigned council of Uniontown City, do hereby approve, adopt, and place into immediate effect the emergency operations plan of Uniontown City. This plan shall be reviewed every 2 years to make certain that it conforms with the requirements of the Fayette County Emergency Operations Guidelines.
Michael.
No comment.
Jones?
No comment.
Mr. Plumbo?
No comment.
Mr. Geary?
No comment.
Mr. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Palumbo?
Yes.
Mr. Gearing?
Yes.
Mayor Pike?
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Want to make sure to remind everybody there's a debate tonight on TV, so don't miss it. Mark Yager, you got something to say?
The only thing I wanted to tell the mayor and council is we're getting ready to start our last house on Maple Street. That's kind of a milestone there.
I'll say.
Yeah, so we'll be breaking ground on the last house a few weeks, and it'll be completed in the spring. So that project's starting to wrap up. We have received a market study back for the grocery store. Be located out there on the lot we have.
That's where the gas station used to be.
Yeah.
The one on the left, right?
Yeah. And we're also talking to another developer that's interested in maybe opening a grocery market in that
Boy,
area.
that'd be
So
great.
those kind of talks, we're still ongoing. It's kind of early in the stage, so we're not sure who's going to build the building yet or anything of that nature.
That's sure beautiful. I commend you and all the hard work your people have done to make this happen.
Well, it was all of us.
Right.
Without your support, we couldn't have did it. So.
I don't think people really grasp how hard you guys do work. I've had some discussions with Mark. You know, a grocery store in the city is a big deal for me.
Yeah.
I've told Mark before I end up going to Walgreens, which is fine, I guess, but I'd love to have a grocery store in the city. And that's a big...
Not to mention the fire company won't feed him no more.
Yeah.
So, and Mark has really tried everything he can, so, and I appreciate that. And I think the citizens, once we get a grocery store, I think the citizens will appreciate it.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Large parts of the city has been designated as a food desert. They call
Yeah,
it.
you want to explain that a little bit?
It's a designation for areas that really doesn't have a place within their target areas, which would be a 1 mile radius, to buy fresh fruits and vegetables and good stuff, you know, that we used to all go to the groceries and buy. Now we have them on our fringes, you know, we have Walmart, Giant Eagle, Shop and Save, we have, but as far as inside the city proper, our business area. So we're working on that. We realize it's been a problem for a long time, and it's really hard to get a developer. It's a large investment for a developer. Just the equipment in a store, you know, you're talking for a small store, $2 million worth of refrigeration and those type of things. And then fresh fruits and vegetables have a shelf life, so they have to be able to move them. So it's complicated. It's like the parking issue in the city. You know, we've struggled with it for a long time. So I think that's the way we make progress working on these things. I would, as far as parking in the downtown area, I would urge mayor and council and the businesses to come together, and because we hear problems with both sides on what it costs us to enforce parking and what it costs us for meters, what it costs businesses.
Yeah.
In business, I mean, if we could come together and create a plan really to have free parking for our businesses. But it has to be paid for some way.
Sure.
And it will take mayor and council, which I believe we have the mayor and council to do, and all the businesses in the
It would
downtown.
be like a public-private in
Yes,
some places.
to come together and, I mean, look, you go to the malls, everybody parks, there's a perception of free parking.
Sure.
But it's not free. Everybody knows you can't remove snow and maintain the lots and light them for nothing, you know.
Right.
So we can do the same thing here, I believe, if we get our businesses involved with you guys that really have the steam to do it. I think it could be accomplished. Set aside our parking garages, and then if it is for unmetered parking, and DeMarco's, if he wants to leave his employees use 3 prime spots, that maybe for his customers, that would be his choice, you know. That would kind of drive that, you know, and it would take the burden off of us of enforcing it.
Yes.
Because it is costly to enforce. You heard the chief mention many problems in enforcement. You guys are faced with it every day. So just something to look at. Maybe that's what we want to look at.
I'm sure united we stand. We can
Absolutely. Yeah, I believe it can be worked out. You and I have talked about it, Mayor, several times. So I'd be willing to help when they
Well,
have.
I think the meeting that Jeff's gonna have, that the chief's gonna go to, I think I'll try to attend as well.
Yes.
I mean, I do agree, Mark, we do have the, a pretty, I mean, some people that are worried about parking, but we do have to worry about the businesses.
Yes.
The businesses always talking about that. I think we can come up with something that is,
Especially in our central
acceptable to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, parking's a big issue. You guys, in a short time, touched on a lot of things. A lot of things, we have private parking lots in town. I mean, we're kind of in competition with those guys, so whatever price we set, they come in below us. So,
Yeah.
we kind of set their prices for them. It's difficult. It's a big subject. It's not just a parking meter.
Sure.
It's very difficult. But I think with the businesses, if you could get the businesses on board, I believe we could come to a solution.
Sure.
Jeff?
Yeah, just touching on that, because that is an issue, is we did have this meeting this morning, and the idea is to try to bring the businesses together around the table instead of having the Downtown Business District Authority, which is made up of 5 people making decisions which could impact these businesses. We wanted to invite all the businesses to the table, kind of have a sounding board, get feedback from them. We have this marketing grant, like I said, to market the downtown. It's only $10,000, but we're required to have a $10,000 match. They're talking $20,000 there. So we wanted to get feedback from the businesses as to what they wanted to see that money being spent on. Brochures, TV, radio. So it was a very productive meeting. We're actually setting another meeting to keep the momentum for the 17th, which is 2 weeks from today. And we could have the chief and Councilman Michael there and whoever from the council would like to be there as far as the parking situation goes. And because like I said, even though we were talking about marketing, the first thing that came up at the meeting was about parking. So, and like I said earlier, I mean, this is universal. You go to like a Main Street meeting and everybody's talking about parking. So it's not like it's just a Uniontown problem. It's pretty much everywhere. So, as far as some other issues, our contractor that was working on Lemon Street Park had a death in the family, so it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but he wants to get back to finishing that up. This is on Lemon Street. And
that's very good.
Yeah, he's really doing a nice job. It's going to be really well landscaped. We're going to have a guardrail at the top of the alley, so prevent any cars from getting in there. We have a fence around the site. It's going to be really well landscaped, like I said. Mark touched upon the grocery store market study. We're having the Halloween parade. We're working with the chamber on that. They're kind of the primary sponsor on that. That's going to be October 24th. That's a really big event, usually in the downtown. That would be the Wednesday before Halloween. I think the lineup starts at 5:30 out behind St. Mary's Church up on the hill there. And it's going to come right down Main Street. And then we are going to have at Story Square judging the costumes after the parade is over. And then Home for the Holidays, that's the Light Up Night parade and event. That's going to be December 6th. We're really trying to encourage a lot of choirs, a lot of different participants, so that it's not just a parade and everybody goes home. We want to try to make it an evening-long type of activity with all types of events and activities in the downtown. So that's December 6th. That's a Thursday, I believe. And Weed and Scene, we start keeping on with the Weed and Scene and the joint neighborhood meetings, getting the 3 community groups, East End, Lafayette, Gallatin, getting them together, talking about crime issues. The district attorney's been really helpful. He's been coming to those meetings. Jack Hennigs, the chief, of course. Councilman Michael was at the last meeting. And one of the interesting things we talked about was a gun buyback program. Trying that out, seeing if we can actually get gift cards from local retailers to buy back guns from citizens, no questions asked. They get a gift card in return, and it has a mixed record as far as being really effective nationwide. Other places have tried it, but we thought, let's give it a shot. Let's see if this will work. So we had our meeting Beginning of this month, I think we're going to have another meeting in November, kind of start planning and getting this
Crime
underway.
Stoppers is really encouraging.
Crime Stoppers is involved in this. So, yeah, Phil, he's been kind of involved in this a lot. So, I don't know if you have any other.
We're just going to try. Gina Jones is really kind of steering this ship. They're going to try to do it sometime in November. We're going to try to do it on the East End, probably the fire station up there, because again, that's part of the community. And Gina's kind of giving us direction, and we're doing what she tells us to do.
Yeah, Gina Jones, she's really kind of taking us by the horns and really leading us through it. And she had somebody from Pittsburgh that she contacted, and they did something similar. So she's gotten a lot of information from them to put this on.
So just that sounds like a great idea to help curb violence and stuff. But my only question is, a gun buyback program, no questions asked. I mean, some you never know. Some of those guns may have a history, and well, I think it's.
I know the chief had.
I don't know. I mean,
there was definite hesitation, but
yeah, I mean,
there are positives and negatives, but. There are positives and negatives, but I think the chief was hesitantly able to look the other cheek to get the guns off the street.
Oh yeah,
is that right, chief?
Yeah, that's clearly a disadvantage from my perspective. But at the end of the day, you have to weigh the good and the bad, and the good is that we're getting a gun off the street.
I just wondered about the ballistics of it and all that.
And unfortunately, we've had a lot of gun violence within the city of Uniontown. So if we have, the key is to get illegally possessed guns off the street. That's the goal. And so if we can accomplish that by supporting this venture, then I think we're all doing well.
The majority of the Weed and Seed Committee really are interested in it, and I think that.
I think it's great. I just wondered about, people read that, like, well, what might be a trap? I'm not bringing my gun in, you know what I mean?
But it's looking at some,
I know.
But also looking at some of the data and the research, some of the articles, I think you're going to get more like weapons that may be broke, may have been stored in the attic for a long time, and just people not knowing, left by their grandfathers, and just really they don't know what to do with them. Yeah. I think more in the cities we might get some other issues, but some of the articles kind of seem to, you're going to have a mixed bag. Yeah. Isn't that right, Chief?
That's correct.
Okay, that's good. I think it's great.
Anybody else? Mike?
I'd just like to comment that I did put a bid out for flex fuel for our police vehicles if we didn't receive any responses. I was informed that there's only one station in the area that even sells it, which is Sunoco out of 857. At the time that I was talking to this person, it was like 40 cents a gallon cheaper, but it also uses 20% more fuel.
Right.
And it doesn't give you as much power for the police cars. That might be an issue, I don't know, but there really isn't anybody to bid against on that. But
maybe that's not a good thing then.
I asked a question on that though too, is do we have any flex fuel cars?
All of them.
All of them are flex fuel.
Yeah, that's why we did it, because all the police cars are able to use.
You can use either one, because if it's
I'll
not.
have a green flex on the back. Yep.
Okay.
I also was informed that you get less mileage and there might be potential power issues, but I suppose I asked him about these issues because there are some things online that'll tell you to kind of lean against it, but I think the pros are more than the cons, and I just have to divert the people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I am in the same group. I'm not a mechanic and I'm not aware, but and I think also he was just trying to be cost effective. But at the end of the day, if council decides,
I would think that there would have to be a big difference in the price per gallon, and somebody would.
Yeah, I don't think we took
into
into consideration that it required more fuel. We just saw 40 cents a gallon and thought, oh wow, that would be a savings.
Right. I think now we're going to lose a lot of power.
Yeah, and
that might be
that was a question I had as well, because when you lower the octane, you're definitely lessening the power of the vehicle.
And I brought that up to him, and he said there's surveys that go the other direction.
We can do some research.
Well, the other thing, talking to a gentleman today as well, that the flex fuel today, as Kim was saying, it could be 20, 30, 40 cents cheaper, but 6 months from now,
It could be 10.
Yes, the cost differential could change, so we have to be careful when we think that we're saving money. Well, we might save money if we're at 40 or 50 cents, but we're not saving money if we're at 10 or 20 cents.
Well, one thing I did find out, if that did happen, you could switch back. You can use them both.
Right.
You know, you don't have to just stay exclusively with one or the
I
other.
gotta think, I don't know, if, can't we just let them try it in one car for a little while and see if it works? If there's cost savings? I mean, can we just try it for a month with one of the cars? Jason, do you want to do that?
I think you're looking at quite a process to even.
Well, we have, not to interrupt, I'm sorry, but next month we'll be putting out our
Gas.
fuel bid again, so maybe, I think it's Navy that has the flex fuel at the Sunoco out there, so they maybe didn't see the ad, because we didn't receive a bid.
Well, part of the question is, right now with the solicitor, JW, can we, what happens if we only get, if there's only one person in the area, what do we do? Because we're not going to get 2 or 3 bids.
So we got to take out.
Okay. Just making sure.
If that's the only bid we get.
I had one other basically announcement. You all got a letter in your box on top of your packets about the state aid allocation for the fire and police pension. Joe Siktar recommends that council makes a decision on how it should be allocated. Phil and I sort of agree that it'd probably be best if Joe came here to explain it. And his reasoning behind his suggestions, or at least wait till the next meeting before we make a determination.
I think we're going to schedule a meeting with him. There's a pension meeting scheduled. We'll try to get him down there around the same time so we can discuss this with him. I'd rather do it face-to-face than the email.
The allocation is one thing, but I think I got the memo from you as well. The good news for the city is that we're still in good shape with our pension, and we don't, for 2013, we don't have...
No, we do with the fire and police.
That's what I said. I thought this was...
The PMRS, we don't know anything. That's the non-uniform plan. We have an obligation for the fire and police if you look at the next page.
And that's the question.
Well, the state aid that we just got is for 2012. These are for 2013 obligations to NMO.
Okay.
Basically, one of his suggestions was to take the state aid that we get from the non-uniform and bail out the uniform plans. And then he has another suggestion in there too. But it's just,
So
and
the non-uniform, there's nothing, but on the one pension, there's about an 88, and then on the other one, there's about 120.
Right.
Okay. Or 196, yeah. No, I was thinking, yeah,
The same
and
cover
that's
letter with
why I
all
was
three
getting
plans.
confused, because, yeah, the first one was
That's the
saying
non-uniform
0.
plan, yeah. That's all I have, Mayor.
If nobody has anything else,
I just wanted to tell you, the Rotary Walk project is at a stop. My men went down there, and if you go down and look, they cleaned the bank off, got all that stuff off there. They planned on planting grass there, some trees. Somebody went to the Fayette County Agriculture Department come down and stopped the project. Says we have to get a permit from the DEP and all this stuff. I've called the federal government about who owns the creeks. Federal government owns all creeks and waterways in the United States. County, city, and state has nothing to do with them. How they stopped us, I don't know. But my equipment's off of that project until something in the county gets straightened around. The project is stopped. Now look at it, it really looks nice what we done. They took 2 or 3 truckloads of mattresses and tires and stuff out of the creek, and we gonna get hell for that. But that's it.
Who called?
No, they claim they won't tell us. We have an idea who called, but they Basic sale on the DEP command.
But before we adjourn, I just want to say that, again, the fire department is wearing pink again for the month in support of breast cancer awareness. So,
I have a resolution. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, the council adjourns to meet Wednesday, November 7th, 2012 at 4:30 p.m. Mr. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Palumbo?
Yes.
Mr. Geary?
yes.
Mayor Pike?
Yes.